Hey guys, it's Moody here, and today I have a battle against Wilechase. If you don't know who he is, his channel is in the description, and it's Wilechase. And if you could leave a like on this video if you want to see more of these. I always try and reach like 200 likes because it feels awesome knowing that you guys enjoy my content. So if you really like this video, you can leave a like, and that way I know I can keep doing these and you enjoy them. Whether they're picture commentary or just normal commentary, I just like having your guys' feedback, whether it's positive or negative, and that way I can learn from my mistakes as well as you guys can help me improve. And that way we can all benefit this whole thing, and I can just make you guys happy. So I have a team here, and I kind of wanted to try Mega Gardevoir today because one of my friends gave them to me, so I wanted to just try that thing out. And judging from Chase's team, I assumed that he was either going to lead off with Rotom or he was going to lead off with Ferrothorn, and I figured the best lead for me to lead off with was my Terrakion in either situation, because if he was leading off with Ferrothorn, he was going to set up Stealth Rocks, or if he was leading off with Rotom, he was going to want to Volt Switch out. Usually that's what they do, and those are the two potential leads he might have, and I feel like Terrakion is just the best thing for me to go to with either one of them. The only thing is, this Terrakion that I have right now, I put a Choice Scarf on it instead of the Life Orb that I used to carry, and unfortunately with the first turn I should have predicted him to switch in Aegislash and just go for the Earthquake, but it was also way too risky just in case Rotom decided to go for a Hydro Pump. I wasn't going to make that risk and potentially lose Terrakion this early in the match. That's why I just decided to switch out into Azumarill. Honestly, I'm not really sure what I was expecting of Aegislash. I think partially I forgot that Fairy is weak to Steel, and I thought, hey, I could resist a Steel move, but I didn't, and that's not the best thing in the world right now. So I'm not really starting off on the best ground right now on these first few turns. And what makes matters worse with Aegislash right now is that my only two special attackers right now are both weak to his Stab, Shadow Sneak, and this is how I end up losing my Latios, and it's awful and it sucks, and you never want to lose just these good Pokemon so early in the game, and I end up being disappointed in myself because I feel like there are things I could have done differently to try and get around this Aegislash, but I did go into Mega Gardevoir, and I was hoping I could live a hit and get off a Shadow Ball, because that's the only way that I don't have to deal with the annoying King's Shield and whatever, that whole thing. So luckily I take him out, and I decide to switch out Gardevoir because I figured that I really want to save him as fodder, especially since I have Talonflame, and I was assuming he was going to want to just U-turn out, and Talonflame is 4 times resistant to that, and I freaking love Talonflame so much. So now I switch out. I assumed he was going to want to just hit me with a Hydro Pump or a Volt Switch, so this is the perfect opportunity for me to just sack off Gardevoir regardless of what he goes for. So the better thing was that he did go for Volt Switch, so that ends up being, it means he's going to switch in his Pokemon, and then I get to switch in whatever I want after I already know what he goes into, and I choose to go into Terrakion because I do have the Choice Scarf, and at this point he's going to know I have the Choice Scarf because I outsped a Noivern, and thankfully L-code with Stone Edge, because if Stone Edge missed, then I'd be so screwed. But now that he knows that I am Choice, he is safe to go into his Ferrothorn right there, but I'm like, Ferrothorn ain't got nothing on Talonflame, because Talonflame is just like the most ballin' G right now. I freaking love Talonflame so much. So I go into my Talonflame, he goes for the Leech Seed, and I honestly thought that if he went for Stealth Rock, that would have been the best thing. I make a misplay and go for a Swords Dance. That was not good at all because Rotom is still around. As long as Rotom is still around, I cannot be Swords Dancing, because there's no way I'm going to kill a Rotom unless he is severely weakened. So I went into my Fortress now basically as fodder at this point. I was hoping once he went into Infernape he might predict me to switch or something, and he would want to just like U-turn, and I was really hoping for that, and maybe I could get up my rocks or whatever. But that whole situation did not happen. However, I can go into my Terrakion now. I'm pretty sure his Infernape is not Scarf, but just Choice, because of the way that he's switching. So now he sacrifices his Ferrothorn. The problem with this Terrakion is that I flat out threw a Choice Scarf on it, so it has literally max speed, and it does lose out on that attack. So if I had more attack invested in this thing, I wouldn't be taking as much Rocky Helmet damage, which unfortunately does a lot. and that's actually really gonna suck and matter because I don't think I could have used Terrakion a lot better, I think. So now that he goes back into his Infernape, I'm just like, he's going to hit me with a Mach Punch. That's fairly obvious, so I'm going to go into my Talonflame because Talonflame pretty much walls this thing. It resists Mach Punch, it resists U-Turn, it resists his Fire-type move. So I'm pretty set, and I need to keep Talonflame around at least to deal with Infernape, especially since I can probably OHKO with a Acrobatics. And now Rotom comes in, and this is just, the Rotom is just like, Talonflame cannot do anything as long as Rotom is around. So here I figured he was going to want to Hydro Pump. I'm like, alright, I have a Citrus Berry, except I feel like there's no way I'm going to live a Volt Switch, but there is no switch in for me. I feel like I needed to keep my Terrakion around at least to get that If I could get Terrakion out on the Rotom, that would just be fantastic. But luckily, I do live, and I'm able to get a Play Rough off on the Greninja and take the Greninja out. And I'm just like, at least that's one more thing I have to, one less thing for me to worry about. But here, he's just gonna want to Mach Punch me so I don't, you know, basically get my Aqua Jet off. But I make a huge misplay. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, I should be going into Talonflame and trying to double switch out back into Terrakion. At least then he might predict the switch and go into Rotom, but I just flat out went into Terrakion thinking maybe there is some way that I could live this Mach Punch, and if I live this Mach Punch then I have this game, but there is no way I'm living a Mach Punch, and I really should have tried to do the double switch even if he predicted me to do that, but I feel like it might have been way too obvious, and that way I was kind of like, when I was down to Terrakion and Talonflame, I knew I was done, and that's the game for me. But it was a very good game. My friend Chase also does Pokemon on his videos, so on his channel, if you want to check him out, you can check him out. But as always, I love you guys so very much, and please have a fantastic day. And bye!